Today we are going to be installing arguably one of the best modifications for improving handling on your Mark 8 GTI or Golf R. And that modification is a stiffer rear sway bar. Now before we get into the install and we take a look at what product we chose for my GTI, why would you want a stiffer rear sway bar? Well, from the factory, these GTIs and the Golf R a little bit is tuned to have understeer from the factory. And what that means is when you're going into a turn aggressively, the car has a tendency to continue to push in the corner instead of letting the rear end come around and making the turn in a much more well-balanced manner. I have experienced this personally in my GTI when I took this on the autocross course last year. I was hitting the turns pretty quick, for me anyway, so I thought. However, I noticed a ton of understeer where the front end just wanted to plow through the corners, and without me slowing down and kind of regaining that traction in the front end, I would have just kind of kept going, right? Or at least that was the sensation. So a stiffer rear sway bar obviously stiffens the rear end. It allows that rear end to kind of come around and follow the front. And I decided to go with an adjustable option here so we could kind of tailor that depending on the driving style I want to choose at any point in time. So let me show you what we decided to go with. And there it is, guys. We decided to go with the 034 Motorsports adjustable rear sway bar for the Mark 8s. And so I'm pretty excited about this one. I wanted a bar that was adjustable, so you guys can see here that we got two options that we can choose from. And I think I'm gonna start with just the least aggressive option here, because this bar apparently, and according to 034, is 150% stiffer than the stock bar, which is crazy. So I don't wanna go too crazy here as this is my daily driver, but we're gonna start off with this and kind of see what we wanna do and tailor it from there. Now these do come with some nice hardware here. One thing I was missing in this kit was actually the lubricant for the bushings that go in here. Good news is I bought one of these guys here, and I actually sourced the cartridge that 034 or 034 sells on their site for the specific lubricant that's recommended for these. So we're in the clear. Anyways, what else do we have here? Well, I decided to go with these Moog Endlinks. These were apparently really popular in the Mark 7s, I guess, and these are cheap. I'll put a link to them in the video description here, guys, but I ended up painting these black. They don't come painted, and I guess they're prone to rust if you don't paint them. And so I just actually used the little grease gun over there to add some grease in here. They have greasable fittings, which is pretty cool. So I will test this out for you guys and see if I get any noise from this or whatnot, and I'll report back to you guys. But for the price of these things, I couldn't pass it up. The only other thing I got here was actually some hardware here for the Endlinks. Because the hardware that we're going to be removing is a one-time use from Volkswagen. So it should be a pretty straightforward install today, guys. So I'm going to get the rear end jacked up here. I'm going to leave the tires on for now, and we're going to see if we can get that stock bar out. I'm really interested in comparing the stock bar to this one, just in overall size and just kind of feel. Because the 034 one, the thing is pretty heavy. So I'm excited to see what the difference is at the end of this video. All right, we got the car up in the air here, guys, and the first thing here that we're gonna start to tackle is removing these plastic shields off the bottom of the control arms so we can get some access to the little ride height sensor, and then get our wrench onto this little stabilizer control bolt on the other side. So let me do that right now. Yep, looks like these are just little 10 millimeters here. All right, they do have these little push pins on the top here that we're gonna have to get off. All right, one off. Before we get going too crazy here, I want to remove this leveling sensor so we don't accidentally snap anything off here when we get the sway bar out. So, important step. It'll give us a little more room too to work. There we go. Okay, I think next we're gonna go after these Endlink bolts here, and I'm gonna be using a 13 millimeter wrench and a 13 millimeter socket. All right, we got pretty much everything loosened up here. Now we just gotta loosen up the exhaust hangers a bit so we can get this thing to drop down. And we should have more than enough room to get the sway bar out. All right, we got the stock bar out and we were able to retain or leave on the stock or the factory Endlink, so I didn't have to mess with that while we're on the car. It's crazy to me that these are plastic, but I guess from the factory, it's a pretty light little bar here, guys, so I'm really interested to see what the 034 bar looks like compared to this thing. All right, let's check this out. So here's the stock bar next to the 034 Motorsports. So it is significantly heavier, significantly beefier of a bar compared to the stock one. As they said, it's like 150% stiffer than the stock bar. Really weird, guys. I thought I was losing my mind. I'm gonna interrupt the video here because you know how at the beginning of this video I said, hey, my package didn't include the lubricant from 034 for the bushings. And I was like, I'm really happy that I bought the stuff to lubricate these fittings. You know what I noticed is these here, which should have a little lubrication fitting on them, they do not. They don't have the little port on here. So it made me like question, I'm like, did I get the wrong bushings and mounts with this kit? Or was I missing something? So thanks to 034 Motorsports, you know, automated question help desk here, I just asked the question, and this was the answer. Our newer sway bar kits use Teflon-lined bushings that are greaseless/maintenance-free, so they do not require lubricant. I lubricated them. At that point, I was like, well, oh well, you know, I already lubricated them. That's, you know, maybe a little extra. Next sentence says, and should never be greased. So we're gonna see, guys, if this will be a problem in the future or whatever. I can't see that it would be, especially because I'm using the grease that was originally called out for it. But regardless, if you get one of the new kits, guys, and it doesn't have that fitting on there, they are greaseless. They're Teflon lined on the inside. And I thought they felt pretty slick on the inside of that bushing, but I guess I'm an idiot. I greased them, and you don't need grease. So we'll see how this goes. Now, however, in my defense, the install PDF does not say that new kits come with this. They said there's like a maintenance-free bushing in there, but it doesn't say that they're greaseless. So yeah, and the PDF shows the grease fitting on there. I don't know, I guess I just misunderstood, but I wanted to point that out for you guys in case you get the same kit I did. Apparently you don't need to grease them, and it's gonna be just fine. So cool. All right, so we got our little bushings here lubricated up, and so there's a little slit in these, and we got to slide this over the bar, and you're going to want to be on the outside of the bar. Cool. And obviously these are going to go like this when it's on the car. So I'm going to get it kind of lined up here. Obviously they include some hardware here as well that we're going to be using. Then we got the hardware that I purchased here to replace the lower bolt and nut that's going to be used in this one. Now we're going to wiggle this bar back into its proper position under the car. It took a little bit of doing, but we got it to fit. Then we started tightening up the sway bar bushing mounts there with the included hardware and getting everything else snugged up while the car was still up in the air. These can be a little tricky right here. Now to tighten up the exhaust and reinstall our leveling sensor. And this is where a set of ramps comes in really handy. You're able to lower it down on the ramps to put some weight on the suspension there. You're gonna wanna torque these bolts down while there is weight on the car, while the suspension is under load. Now, I'm not super proud of this, but I had to do what I had to do here and tighten these sway bar Endlink nuts with a little ratcheting wrench there, and I had to break out the vice grips to be able to hold the other side. So this is not the proper way to do it here. You would want to use a torque wrench, but these are what I call good and tight. The rest of the bolts on this car have been torqued to spec. Well, install is completely finished up here, so I think it's time to get this thing cleaned up a little bit and test it out on some of the back roads here in Georgia. So I'll meet you out there. All right, guys, it is time to give you my impressions on the 034 Motorsports adjustable rear sway bar. Now, it's been about a week since filming that install portion of it, and I really wanted to take a little bit of time and just get used to everything myself before I start talking about it to you guys. So I've been driving the car every day to work. I've been kind of, testing it out on some back roads and things like that. And now I feel like I have a good understanding of what it feels like in a bunch of different situations and can kind of talk to you guys a little bit better about it. So what are my first impressions here? When I first started driving this thing, I just was kind of putting it around. It felt pretty normal. Now, I was under the impression that we were going to have to be really pushing the car, to feel this difference. But that is not the case, which is really cool. So if you're just driving normally and, you're just casually cruising, there's not a huge difference. However, you do feel like the rear end is much more stable. And what I mean by that is I feel like the rear end now wants to follow the front end of the car around turns. It doesn't feel so like I'm forcing the front end to make it do what I want. Even in lower speed situations, the car just feels much more balanced, or well balanced, I should say. And that's just kind of a cool feeling. It makes it feel more go-kart-like, if you will. Like the handling is much sharper, the turn-in is much sharper, things of that nature. Now, when I started pushing this thing a bit in the corners, that's when I was really blown away with it, guys. Like, the amount of turn-in with the rear sway bar, even on the lightest setting. I'm on the outermost hole on that setup. I can go one more in. Now, I don't think those Moog Endlinks, since they're not adjustable, would play very nice with the stiffest setup on the 034 bar, but the option's there. So if we get some adjustable Endlinks, we could test that one out. Honestly, I don't think I'll really need to, unless I, take this thing to a track or something like that, or do some other autocross days. Then I might want to experiment with that. But really the coolest thing is when you're coming into a corner and you can just feel that rear end just kind of come around, follow the front. It's not oversteering at all. I don't feel like I'm, like it's sketchy at all in the back. I don't feel like I'm losing traction in the back. I just feel like the car is way more balanced than it was without the rear sway. And arguably, I've heard a lot of people say this is one of the best modifications for the GTIs and the Golf Rs, even though the Golf Rs, you have that torque vectoring rear diff. It might not play as big of a role, I guess, or you might see more of a difference with the GTI than the R. But a lot of people were like, yeah, this is a game changer. And I was a little skeptical. But honestly, guys, it really is. It has made the car so much more fun to drive. You don't even have to be ringing it out around turns. Just the satisfaction of the turn-in alone and really being able to point the nose where you want it to go, and that's where it goes. It feels so much sharper and just so much more on point, which is awesome. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys found it useful, give it a little thumbs up for me. And if you want to continue on with watching this build progress, I'd love for you to subscribe up to the channel. And of course, we'll catch you in the next video. You guys have a great day. Bye. All right, bonus acceleration clip for anyone who watched to the end. So we'll do a second gear. And go. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, that was 75. I did get a ticket on this road at one point in time, so probably shouldn't do that. All right, have a good one. Bye.